An old forgotten headset that some of you, whoops. Hey, this is the headset historian. So I'm doing something a bit different today. I'm just doing a quick live stream. So I was in the process of modding this Vive Pro, and I thought, why not just chuck on a camera and do a live stream? So the quality is going to be not wonderful, and audio quality is not going to be great either because I'm literally just using my phone, and I'm also using the selfie camera on my phone, which I'm currently regretting now because I realized I'm looking at it on my PC, so I actually didn't need to use the selfie camera. My idea was I would be able to see the screen so I could, you know what? I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to just restart it on the other side. Hold on a second. Or actually, can I turn the camera around while I'm live? Um, yes, I can. Okay. So, right, okay, I've turned the camera on. Let me just quickly. You can see some of my face there as opposed to just my hands. That must be quite a shock. Let me get this. Wait a minute. It's okay. Sorry, because I'm watching a delay of this. All right, so now it's zoomed way out. Give me just a moment. How do I zoom in on this or switch to a different camera? You know what? Instead of zooming in, I will just physically move the camera down closer, and that'll do the job, I guess. And now I have to wait to see the delay on the screen. Okay, never mind. All right, so that's reasonable enough there. And sorry, the camera might be a bit shaky just because I have it on this. It's not an ideal tripod that I have it on or anything. So what I'm doing right now is I got a Vive Pro, and I'm currently modding it. So this is a headset that I've come back to, I don't know, like 5 times now. So I keep buying the Vive Pro and then kind of getting ahead of myself and selling it because I get excited about something else, and then I end up coming back to it again. So this is, yeah, I think maybe the 5th time I've done this cycle. Now this headset is from 2019, I think it is. Or could it even be 2018? It might actually be earlier than yeah, 2019 was the index. I think it was 2019 that the Vive Pro came out. I'm also enjoying a very tasty stout. So very casual stream this, and you know, I don't know if there's anything much to it, but I thought hey, why not? I'll give it a go. So what I'm doing right now is I've got a Vive Pro again, and I'm doing a mod that I've done before where I take out the Fresnel lenses and replace them with Gear VR lenses. So if you're familiar with that lens mod, or rather if you're not familiar with that lens mod, apologies also if you're hearing the 3D printer in the background. I'm currently 3D printing parts that are part of this mod. So Fresnel lenses, you know, you've got the concentric rings and you've also got the small sweet spot, particularly on these lenses. The Vive lenses, I think today get a bad rap because they're compared to other lenses that come out years later. For their time, they were good, I would say, decent. They weren't ever the best lenses or anything, but yeah. So the Gear VR, or there's a particular generation of the Gear VR that had aspheric lenses that are actually very nice. And if you didn't know, the Gear VR was a product for Samsung phones in partnership with Oculus. So they developed these aspheric lenses, and the only other aspheric lenses at the time were on the PSVR 1, which had really, really great lenses. It's something that people don't really talk about too often either, is the PSVR 1 had these really nice aspheric lenses. And I remember not appreciating it at the time, but I appreciated it a bit later when I went back to the PSVR 1. But just that sense of the comfort when you're in the PSVR 1, they really nailed it with the Halo head strap and that rubber gasket that didn't put any pressure on your face, but it was a light blocker. And then the aspheric lenses, your eyes were very relaxed the whole time. Of course, the hardware powering it was somewhat underpowered. I know that seems weird to say when you have Quest headsets, but they were trying to go for a different approach where they were trying to max the visual fidelity of the assets, but sacrificing the resolution in return. While Quest kind of takes the different approach of kind of, all right, we're building this for low end hardware, and then we're going to, push the resolution as high as we can with lower level assets and stuff. So the Vive Pro with the Gear VR lens mod is beautiful, and this obviously is an OLED headset, which is a really nice feature. And I'm also, what makes it different this time for me personally is that I have the Vive wireless adapter. Funny enough, I've actually owned this adapter before, but I've never used it. I just owned it in the process of buying and selling like a job lot of VR stuff. So that's something I do kind of as a side gig or whatever you want to call it, where I kind of buy and sell a bunch of VR stuff, but I also sometimes don't test the stuff as much as I should. For example, I have a Vive Cosmos sitting out in my hallway right now that I'm contemplating, should I do a deep dive on that? Should I do videos about it? Or else maybe, I'm not sure, maybe I'll just stick to selling it on. It's hard to say because, sometimes these things, like when I took the Vive Cosmos out of the box, the build quality of it's amazing. It's actually surprisingly nice headset, but I haven't actually tried it. I really should. But anyway, I'm going off off the rails altogether. But I guess that's kind of the point of a live stream. So what I'm doing right now, and again, apologies if the 3D printer in the background is making too much noise. And name goes here, says hi, hello, how you doing? Um, Heads up, by the way, this live stream will probably be over in like 20 minutes because I gotta go cook dinner. So yeah, so I've already swapped out the Fresnel lenses that are in the Vive Pro for the Gear VR lenses. You do run into a slight issue where, and this can be headset dependent because they actually apparently tweak the distortion profile individually for each headset in factory, which is quite wild. But I'm not sure how accurate that is or how true that is, but that's what I've heard is the case. What I've done here is the most ghetto um, prescription lens mod you can do. I do actually have a 3D printed adapter that clips over this, but I just find it outrageously bulky and it ends up digging into my nose and stuff like that. So I decided, hey, you know what? I'm gonna just try this. I've got this really heavy duty. Oh my god, sorry. I'm sorry, there's so much dust and stuff in this. I don't know if you can see in the video. It's kind of gross, but it's just this stuff is insanely sticky. So even just dust floating about in the air gets stuck to it. This is some like really heavy duty double-sided tape, but you can see it's very thick. So I just double layered that and just stuck the lenses directly to it, which normally I guess the benefit of having an adapter is you can pop it off if you're going to share the headset with people, but realistically this headset I'm not sharing with people. If I'm going to share a headset with someone, it'll be the Quest 3 or the Pimax Crystal. This one's kind of more for a specific use case. So yeah, and then what I'm also doing is it's been taken off. So that's this wee cable here. If you're not familiar with it, this is the headset for the Vive Pro, and then the cable is just routed down. This clips inside, and then there's just a little cable that's routed down here, and it's a very simple pin connector that just pops in, and it's actually it's pretty trivial to remove this head strap, and if I'm being brutally honest, I don't like this style of head strap, just for only one reason, is because this part here just rests kind of on the upper back of your head, and that drives me mental because my hair is very fine, so it just slides up no matter what I do, literally no matter what I do, unless I clamp it to my head where I'm running the risk of my head splitting in half. This is going to slide up every single time. So what I am doing is replacing that default head strap with the Vive DAS, which I was surprised the very first time I ever tried this that it wasn't natively supported. For some reason I assumed it would be. You'll also notice that the cable is on the wrong side. I actually have the cable routed the whole way through here because I was trying it with the Quest 3, and the Quest 3 has the cable on the other side. So now this lovely coiled cable is probably stretched to all hell. But yeah, we'll figure that out. And I also prefer the audio on the Vive DAS to the audio on the Vive Pro strap, but that's probably a very or not that big of a difference where I think it's you could really objectively say one is better than the other. Okay, so I've got these lenses. These are kind of a somewhat famous lens within the VR community. These are Zenny lenses. I forget the exact product number, but the lenses they're from circular frames, kind of like your Harry Potter style lenses, and they became a default that people would use for VR headsets. Because if you go onto Zenny, and I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that, don't worry. If you go onto Zenny, you can buy the frames with the lenses for like a tenner. So then once you get the lenses, or once you get the frames, you just pop out the lenses, and then you've got these kind of universal lenses for using with headsets. So I'm going to attach this on the second time. One thing I didn't realize the very first time I ever got a headset, and one thing that actually makes these probably not the best decision for people to use, is the fact that the orientation of the lens actually matters. Maybe that's not for everyone, but I have astigmatism where my eyes are oblong shaped, kind of like a rugby ball. So I need to twist it around and get it to the right angle. So I'm going to do that now off camera, just trying to figure out. Well, actually, no. First, I'll put the tape on. By the way, for anyone watching this right now, if you could let me know if the audio is okay and stuff. I know there's noise in the back. I went to 3D printer, and I'm also just doing this directly off my phone, so it might be a dreadful experience. And if it is, apologies for that. But this is just an impromptu thing. I'm not trying to do anything too elaborate. This is a wonderful beer, by the way. I don't know if this is mirrored on screen. Hopefully you can see right. It's Breton Brewhouse Imperial Stout. Comes in this beautiful wax cased top. It's really wonderful beer. And I just have a tradition every Thursday after work. I just grab one of those. Literally just that one beer. I mean, it is a 10% beer, so that one beer goes a long way. All right, so let me cut up this tape and make another lens mount. And I was kind of surprised. I don't know why I never thought to do this before, because right now I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is working really, really well. So I should have done this a long time ago. Because the 3D printed adapters are great, but I find they can often be kind of finicky and stuff, and they also tend to add too much bulk. There's too much distance, and then they're kind of digging into your nose if you have a lower IPD. My IPD isn't particularly low, it's 62, but I do find I end up running into issues with them digging into my nose. So I'll just a bit trickier than you would expect. So anyway, while I'm doing this, I'll explain the few mods I'm doing. I'm adding the Vive DAS, and then I'm also adding the wireless mod, the wireless adapter. So what I'm doing along with the wireless adapter and what's printing right now is I'm 3D printing a battery bank holder that'll go onto the rear of the head strap. So rather than having the battery bank in your pocket, which I think is the kind of default assumption Vive had with the wireless kit, was that you would just put the battery bank in your pocket and go from there. So that's not what I'm going to do, because two reasons. One, I don't like having something in my pocket hanging down from there. It's just irritating. And two, I always put on kind counterbalance weight with the Vive Pro using the Vive DAS head strap, or any head strap to be honest. I feel like it's pretty much every headset to date you've needed a counterbalance. The only one that I haven't needed a counterbalance was Pico 4 and the Quest Pro, and both were headsets with the battery in the rear. Pimax Crystal also has the battery in the rear, and I'm conflicted. I feel like I don't need it, but when I put on the counterweight, I feel like there is a bit of a comfort improvement immediately, but it adds on too much weight long term, so it ends up being not something I really want to commit to. So yeah, putting on the wireless adapter, putting the battery bank to the back of the head, and then I'm also putting a fan onto the wireless adapter. So if you're not familiar with the wireless adapter, it's kind of notorious for overheating because it was originally designed for the Vive, the original Vive, although I can't imagine that they didn't have the Quest or the Vive Pro in mind while they were developing the wireless adapter for the original Vive. I'd imagine they did, but I'm guessing they didn't expect people to be trying to push it so hard, which is what ended up happening with the Vive wireless adapter in the future. You know, people like just pushing it to the limit. To be fair, it's more of an issue with the Vive Pro 2, which the wireless adapter can't even run the full resolution. So you do run into a lot of overheating issues there. But yeah, I'll maybe show that later as I finish this mod up. So doing now, this is something that's super handy to buy if you're into VR modding. It's just a wee bulb. You don't need to bother getting canned air. This does the job great. So just you do that just to blow off some excess dust. I mean, I'm doing it a bit early, but also this is, you know, it's not flush, so you can blow dust through it easily enough. It was mainly useful for doing the lens mod, because as you take this lens off, you need to get all the dust out of the inside chamber between the lens and the screen, and you'll be shocked at just how much dust gets in from just absolutely nothing. Just instantly dust gets in. What people recommend is do it in a steamy bathroom. You know, run your shower for a bit in a steamy bathroom. That'll cause all the dust to settle to the ground or get caught up in the water particles. But to be honest, I've never bothered doing that. I find if you're just ready to go, quickly pop this lens out, blast it a wee bit, pop the other one in, you're grand, and you'll see, okay, there's a bit of dust here, let me try again, and it's not that big of a deal. So what I need to do now is, and then I have just a wee cleaning solution here, or it's you know, like a lens wipe, just give it a proper good clean, and then I'll take off my glasses so I can find out what's the vertical axis on this this particular lens. So I'm just using microfiber cloth as well. So like I was saying, I don't know if you have only myopia, maybe this doesn't matter, the orientation of the lens, but because I have astigmatism, it apparently does matter, because if I turn this lens around, it's blurry, it's warped, and then it gets perfect at one point. So let me try to figure that out now quickly. I always feel like this is such an imprecise thing to be at. That's what I was going to say earlier, which I forgot to kind of conclude on, was I feel like this particular lens wasn't a great choice because it's round and because you can't really figure out the exact vertical point. So they should have went for a large rectangular lens, so then there's no concern about which is the right way up. So that seems to be correct, but it's so hard to know if I'm putting this in correctly. Let me check again. Okay, that is it. Like it's a bit forgiven. It's not an absolute exact, time. It's not within just a few degrees, but it's not that forgiving at the same time. um, all right, so sorry if anyone's been commenting or anything like that. I haven't been able to see them. Just for some reason, my PC froze. But yeah. So that's the two lenses applied now. I know it looks dreadful. It looks terrible, but the reason behind it is just I've never actually tried this before, but I feel like I'm just get it a lot closer. I don't need to bother 3D printing something, and it's just easy to just pop it straight on. So why the hell not? You can see here I've wrapped this cable around. So this is the audio cable that comes out from each side that connects into the original audio strap. So we don't want that anymore. So what I'll do is find kind of the way that it goes. So it's going this way, and just keep it flush to the outside. We're just going to tuck it away here so that it's just out of the way, and it can be, you don't want to damage it because maybe you're going to sell the headset again later, which I've done like 4 times already. So you don't want to damage the cable, or just maybe you want to switch back to the original headset, try it out. So it's a bit tricky because it wants to pop out. It's a rigid enough cable because it's designed to be, flush along a plastic body. But the last one went a lot better, which of course was off camera. So here we go. So you just get something like that. It'll probably pop. It's trying to pop out again, but all right. Well, you're seeing someone do this live. So yeah, just tucking it away like that, and then excuse me. So I've 3D printed. Where have they gone? Excuse me. I'll be back in 1 second. I just need to get those 3D printed parts. Okay, so I've 3D printed these little pins. You can find them on Thingiverse. They're probably on printables as well. And these just go in here and in the other side also. And this allows you to connect the Vive Deluxe audio strap. Which is here. Okay. So it's pretty simple. Because the Deluxe audio strap has kind of a clamping mechanism. You can see here it's got like a clipping mechanism built into it already. And that's it. Just clips in there. It's very, very well designed. I love people that design 3D printed stuff and just put it out for everyone to use. I try to do it myself. I've done it with a few things. I've got a few mods out there, but I'm just honestly not that great at 3D printing. You'll see though, there's a big gap here, so I'm not worried about this pinching the original audio cable or anything like that. It's pretty grand. It's really weird that they never bothered originally supporting this, but I guess they didn't want people having to pop out the cable and try to mod it or try to replace the head strap themselves, because it would be kind of quite a pain point where a lot of people would end up breaking the cable and stuff. And then if that was something that was officially described to do, then that wouldn't be a great idea. So the way the audio works is there's no headphone jack on the Vive Pro, so you need to get a USB-C to 3.5mm adapter. I do have one about somewhere, but I'm not sure where it is right now. I'll have to find it a little bit. And then this is a secondhand unit that I just got in today. So the Vive Pro cushion that came with it was, it's secondhand, so I'm just chucking that straight out. I don't want anything to do with it. I always have like a bunch of original Vive and pleather replacement facial interfaces. I'll go grab one very quickly. Hold on a second. I feel like it's ridiculous that I actually have so many of these just within hand's reach of my desk. So anyway, we've got the Vive, we've got the Gear VR lens mod in now, and then we're putting on the PU leather facial cushion. So I'm just wondering what it'll look like because I'm not actually going to put it on just yet because I need to put in the Oculink cable for the video, and then I need to put in the USB-C to 3.5 adapter, and then I want to put the plastic cover back over that so that they're just nice and flush and kept away. So I'm going to leave it at this for now. So where we've gotten to so far is we replaced the lenses, we've replaced the head strap, and then I have the wireless adapter ready to go, but I'm just 3D printing off a few parts. The two parts I'm 3D printing off, in case you missed it, was the battery bank holder to put the battery bank in the rear of the headset to act as a counterweight, and then the fan mod to just add extra cooling to the headset itself, or to the wireless adapter. And I'd be interested, I've never tried this with wireless before, but like I was saying, this is a headset I always keep coming back to. It's a very comfortable headset. It's very well integrated, better than the Vive Pro 2. It feels like a native Steam VR headset, so it's very low friction to just get into a game, just chuck it on, it's good to go. And when you have the Gear VR lens mod, if it works for you, then it's brilliant. Like, some people find it a bit uncomfortable because there is it's not perfectly optically optimized, I suppose. Like, you're working with a distortion, like a barrel distortion profile that isn't the exact right one for that headset and for those lenses. So it can be tricky in that way. You can modify it, which you can't do in the Vive Pro 2. But the Vive Pro 1, you can modify the distortion profile yourself, which is a really, really nice feature to have. So I haven't tested this yet with these particular lenses to see, what it comes out like, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna end the stream there at that. This is just something, I never tried this before. Maybe the audio is terrible. Maybe you can't even hear me at all. Maybe maybe this is pointless. But I figured I'm here. I'm doing this right now. Why not just chuck it on a live stream and just kind of share some thoughts and share some of the process for anyone that's interested. So yeah, hope you're all having a great day, and I'll chat to you soon. I've also never done this before, so I don't know how to stop the live stream. I guess I press the X. Are you sure you want to stop live streaming? Yes. Have a good day, everyone.